Tubies. It's Psychic Bob. Whew, here we are. It's Wiccan Wednesday. That's right. Well, I got to tell you, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's videos. I want to say thank you to all of you who supported my efforts yesterday. I put out a video to raise awareness to help send healing and blessing to those who have suffered as the result of this terrible tragedy, the terrorist act in Manchester, England. And so many of you joined with me, and I want to say thank you. It's nice to know that here at Spirit Channel, we're a family, and in times of need, we can all pull together. And I want to thank each of you who set your candles last night and lit them, who offered prayers, who supported the video. Thank you so much. You're the best. Also, I want to say thank you to all of you who came up to messages from the spirit world. We had that yesterday. I was determined that we were not going to be stopped by a bunch of terrorists. No, we were not. So we're continuing on with Spirit Channel, and I'm glad you're here. Well, today is Wiccan Wednesday, and you know what I got? I got a special treat for you. I got a new mystical, magical person who's come to live in my house. You know me, I just seem to collect friends. I got Louie here, I got Gigi here, I got Goddess Isis here, and now the great God, the Lord Pan, has arrived. I want to introduce you to the great God Pan. Here he is. Isn't he great? How you like this, guys? I just got this. This is an old ceramic statue of God Pan. It dates from around the 1950s. But I love this. And as you can see, there are a lot of ancient mystical pagan symbols here. Well, in his hair, if you look up here, there are grapes woven. Because Pan was frequently associated with grapes and vines, and sometimes he was connected to Dionysus, the god of wine. He's got his horns here, as you can see on each side, that are growing. He is the horned lord of the woodland. You'll notice his beautiful crinkled face. He's focused on playing his flute. He's all excited. This is his panpipes that he plays music, and he would chase the wood nymphs and sing songs that even the birds would chant. Around him is wrapped the vines of the earth, as you see around his legs here, the greenery. These are not veins. Well, I guess they could be veins. He's connected to the earth. The veins of the earth run through him. He is the ultimate earth father. We've got his cloven feet, his hooves. I love this. You know, I have to tell you, when I was a kid back in the 1970s, I used to see these in people's gardens. These were frequently put outside as garden statues. And I don't know, maybe it's just the time I lived in. I think it was a more liberal time because nowadays, if you'd put one of these out in your garden, people would probably file a protest saying, oh, that demon thing, that, crazy monster, But the fact is, people of old honored Pan. They knew that he was a lord of the earth, a lord of the woodlands. And even people like in the 1970s who may not have necessarily worshipped Pan, they knew who he was and what he stood for. And I think it's very interesting that today in our modern day with all our technology, it seems as if many people have reverted backwards, that they would not recognize this. If I put this out in a garden, if I had a lawn and put it out, I bet you somebody in the neighborhood would file a complaint saying it's demonic or evil. But it's funny, as I said, when I remember growing up, people had these on their lawns. People didn't think a thing about it. And they knew, oh, that's Pan. He's the garden god. It was just kind of a common understood thing. I think we've lost something. But hopefully through, our work as Wiccans, we can reawaken people to the beauty of the mystic Lord Pan. Anyways, I am so excited here. I've got Pan here. I've been wanting one of these statues for literally years. And either I could find, sometimes I would find them at a yard sale, but then they'd be all chipped up and broken. And it couldn't just be painted because it actually had gouges in the plaster, so it wasn't easy to repair. Or if I found one that was halfway decent, it would cost a fortune. Well, I just happen to have the blessing of Pan. I've been meditating on him lately. And here we are. I've got a Pan that I was able to acquire. Isn't he wonderful? So I wanted to bring him here and introduce him to you. I'm going to set a little pan altar here, and I thought you might like to see that. So why don't you join me and come on along. And here we go, the altar to the great god Pan. I've set up this altar here right by my Sabbath wheel. This is over in a corner of my living room area. And I love the Sabbath. You know, I set up the Sabbath wheel here to honor the wheel of the year. And I'm going to make this Pan's permanent altar here because most of the Sabbath deals with the cycle, the life cycle of the Lord. Well, the lady's also involved. But generally we honor the goddess at each month at the moon, at the Esbats. And we give the Lord, at least in my tradition, predominant at the Sabbaths. So, for example, we'll have, Litha coming up soon. And Litha is when the Lord, it is his height and power. And so we're going to have, some stuff on Litha soon. But I'm going to put Pan right here. Let me show you some of the details of this little shrine that I've set up. We've got our beautiful statue of Pan here. And it's traditional to burn green candles for Pan. Now, I'm out of green candles, but I do have a beautiful green crystal candle holder here, and I can put a candle in that. That will set beautiful, burn beautiful green light here before Pan. I've got back here my chalice. This is my Sabbath chalice. It also has the wheel of the year on it. Isn't this beautiful? It's a beautiful chalice made of pewter, and it's that image above in the wheel of the year is also on the chalice. Isn't that cool? And then I have a bell here. And this is a bell to summon the gods. We could certainly summon great god Pan with that. And I have a beautiful brass incenser here also with the pinnacle. I like this gold brass incenser because golden is the color of the Lord, and as Pan is a god form, I use a lot of brass for him. And I have another incenser here, which is the triple moon. I have to go buy some incense this week. I'm getting low. But this is one of my other incensers. And then I have my cauldron here. And I'm going to put some sand down in my cauldron. And then I can burn charcoal blocks on it as well. A little sand won't hurt. It'll protect it. And we can also burn petitions in the cauldron. Many times at Wiccan rites, we'll write our petitions to the gods, and then we'll set them on fire and throw them in a cauldron. So I have that here. And we're going to do some cauldron, some fire rituals in our cauldron very soon. But I thought you guys would like to see the great god Pan. Isn't he wonderful? Here he is playing his pan pipes. His beautiful purple grapes in his hair. Vines around his feet. Beautiful, just beautiful. Isn't he great? I think he looks so cute. So there's our great god Pan. If you want to set up an altar to Pan, the traditional colors, as we say, are green, preferably a deeper green, like this is kind of a forest green, or I think this actually may have been called moss green. Moss green, forest green. This is a beautiful crushed velvet. I just love crushed velvet. I think it looks so rich and lush. And I just draped that over this little table here, as you can see it. And it's just beautiful. I think it's great. I'm going to try to find a bigger candle to honor Pan. I think it would be good to have a beautiful dark green candle. And we'll put that on the altar as well. But for right now, I think we've got a wonderful altar here for our great god Pan. And as you can see, he sits in front of the great wheel of the Sabbath. That goes all the way up to the ceiling. What do you think, guys? Pretty cool altar? Oh, Tubies, look what I found. If you're like me, you've been buying stuff for years and years. I've been a Wiccan almost 20 years. And I forgot that I had this. I found this tucked away in a cabinet. It's a beautiful offering bowl. And look, it's got Pan's face on it. Isn't that beautiful? See the horns? See his face? He's got a beard. This is like triple Pan. He's on all three sides. Same image. This would have been neat if they did this like a triple goddess bowl, like it has young, middle age, and old Pan. But they don't have that. They have it all of one type. But it's beautiful. It's got the Celtic knots all around it. As you can see, inside there you can see the Celtic spiral. I'm going to put this on our altar here. And let me show you something else. As I said, I wanted to get a green candle. Well, I found in the back of one of my closets. I have closets full of stuff. I have a beautiful, deep, rich forest green candle, and it's never been used. Mint condition. So I can put that now in my bowl for Pan. And that could be a wonderful offering to him. I also found in that closet another beautiful green. This is like an antique celadon bowl. Beautiful greens and browns. This would be a wonderful offering bowl. If I want to make offerings to Pan, I could have that here and daily put little offerings in, some coins, some herbs, crystals, all sort of things. So as you can see, my altar to Pan is coming together. I think Pan is very happy to be here. He certainly looks content playing his flute. Isn't that beautiful? So if you're setting your Pan altar, think in terms of greens and browns and earth tones. This is the colors that Pan, lived among and relates to. See that beautiful deep forest green, that brown? Is that not very woodland-like? Just beautiful. So there you go. We now have an amazing altar to the great god Pan. Well, guys, I hope this has been helpful for you today to see my Pan altar. Maybe it'll give you some inspiration, and maybe you want to explore working more closely with the horned Lord, the horned God. In Wicca, it's very traditional. Of course, I know we're eclectic, but traditional Wiccans worship the horned god and the moon goddess, and those were the deities of the Wicca. Now, these days, the form of the god can take many forms, and the form of the goddess takes many forms. But traditionally, when Wicca was first starting out, those were pretty much the only two deities that were worshipped. But as you can see, I set up a wonderful altar to the horned god Pan. And I'm going to have a lot of fun there working on rituals and invoking him and doing explorations of connecting to him more closely. So I'll bring you along as we do rituals. Soon I'm going to have some incense and some charcoal blocks, and we're going to light up the altar in our next day. Maybe next Wednesday we'll make it the illumination of the altar. I think we can do that. All right, guys. Well, I'm so glad you're here. By the way, before I go, pop over to my website, pick up yourself some books. We've got wonderful books there. I'll put the link below, but you can get my books over at my website at www.robert-hickman.com. The link will be in the info box below. And this is my book for those of you who are Wiccan, or even if you're not Wiccan, you might enjoy this. Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom. It covers, my thoughts over the last close to 20 years of Wiccan practice, and has a lot of artwork in it. I did all the drawings myself, and it's a lot of fun, this book. This is a witch here looking at through their telescope called Exploring the Cosmos. They're looking at the moon, the stars. They got their cat with them. Isn't that fun? So you might want to pop over and pick up this book. This is a witch at the Standing Stones Moon Portal. Okay. We got all sort of stuff in here. Here's another witch with her elixirs, reaching for her magic brew. A lot of fun this book is. So check that out over my website. And of course, this is Messages from Rose. And those of you who follow my weekly seance series know that I work with a spirit guide named Rose. That's her picture there. So definitely check it out too. You guys are the best. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. I hope you'll show Psyche Bob some love. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. We'd sure love you to be here. You guys are the best. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, Zodiac Thursday. We'll have some mystical stuff of what's going on in the stars. Make sure to be here. We'll see you then. But until then, may you always blessed be.